Okay, so this is probably the biggest story in the tech right now. Peter Steinberg, who is the creator of OpenClaw, is joining OpenAI. OpenClaw is going to become a foundation and it's going to be independent and will remain an open source project. Now, OpenClaw has been on a roll for the last few weeks. It's the fastest growing open source project and really a glimpse of what personalized agents could look like. Now, I have talked about the security nightmares of this project, but finally we have a big player behind the project. Because this project was so far mainly managed by a single person. I think this has been a roller coaster ride for him as well. He had to change the project name 3 times in a span of just 72 hours. Here's a tweet from Sam Altman. We're going to go through the blog post and also the timeline of the events that have been pretty incredible. So he says, Peter Steinberg is joining OpenAI to drive the next generation of personal agents. He is a genius with a lot of amazing ideas about the future of very smart agents interacting with each other to do very useful things for people. We expect this will quickly become core to our product offerings. So you can actually see an indication of where the direction of OpenAI is going to be going. They want to get into the personal agent space. OpenClaw will live in a foundation as an open source project that OpenAI will continue to support. The future is going to be extremely multi-agent, and it's important for us to support open source as a part of that. Now, with this news, there are people who are looking for alternative, even though it is going to remain open source. So here is Igor Babaskin, who was the co-founder of XAI. So he's saying, what's the best open alternative to OpenClaw right now? Doesn't make sense to pull all your data into it if it's owned by OpenAI. Now, according to Peter, it's going to remain open source, not owned by OpenAI. So here is Ron from OpenAI in response to that tweet from Igor. He says, these are locally stateful agents that send traffic to the model provider of your choice. Actually, now that I say it, I'm guessing Anthropic will ban using Opus from OpenClaw just to spite us. If you have been following the story of OpenClaw, Anthropic has been a really big part of it, because initially it was called Claude Bot. Anthropic forced Peter to change the name, then it became Malt Bot, and then OpenClaw. In response to the Ron's tweet, Igor actually pointed out this is how it works today in OpenClaw, and that is awesome. But if OpenAI changes the direction and make themselves a first-class citizen in the ecosystem, that is not awesome. And that is one of the biggest concerns right now that people have, that, okay, how much influence OpenAI is going to have on the project and what direction they can take it in. We don't know that yet. Now, here's a ex-user who points out a really good point that Peter has previously said in some of his interviews. So Steinberg has made his prerequisite and ideals non-negotiable, and he seems credible and upright in that. Won't change like this be an easy to spot in an open source project? And I think Peter has talked about it, that one of his requirements of joining a company was that OpenClaw is going to remain open source. Okay, so if you're interested, here's the timeline of how this project came into being and all the craziness around it. So it started as a personal project back in November 2025. And in December, it went viral. So it crossed 60,000 GitHub stars. And January 9 blocked the access of third-party open source projects from using their OAuth token that Claude Code uses. There was a big backlash around it, but then Anthropic forced Peter Steinberg to change the name from Claude Bot to Malt Bot. On the same day, scammers seems to have hijacked old accounts in under 5 seconds, which is kind of crazy. Then Peter Steinberg wanted to change the name to OpenClaw. He checked with Sam Altman, according to some of his interviews. There was also a project called Malt Bot, which is supposed to be a social network for agents that also started late January. There has been a lot of security-related concerns for OpenClaw. Then on one of the interviews with Lex Friedman, Peter Steinberg said that he's in talks with both Meta and OpenAI for a potential employment agreement for him and keeping the project open source. And now on February 15th, Peter Steinberg is joining OpenAI to work on personalized or personal agents, while the project itself is going to remain open source. So in all this, I think Anthropic has missed a great opportunity to be the go-to provider for non-developers in the form of personal agents like OpenClaw. It has more than 1 million users now, and I think it would have been a great opportunity for Anthropic to just continue supporting the project, maybe even provide credits to Peter Steinberg for developing it, because he did say that Opus or the cloud models as operating models in OpenClaw are pretty great. Now that might change a little bit. Okay, so here's the article or blog post that Peter Steinberg posted in response to the events that have happened. So in here he says, I'm joining OpenAI to work on bringing agents to everyone. OpenClaw will move to a foundation and stay open and independent. Now he talks about the last month events, which I think was crazy for everybody involved. Then he talks about his own kind of struggles with all this, because if you are bombarded by so many different opportunities in different directions, I think it's really hard to keep up. And the good thing is that Peter has actually openly talked about this on Lex Fridman podcast. Now, then he goes on to say, when I started exploring AI, my goal was to have fun and inspire people, and here we are. The lobster is taking over the world. My next mission is to build an agent that even my mom can use. And that's going to be, I think, the next frontier, because developers are pretty comfortable using these agentic systems now. But the main usefulness or challenge is to make it so easy that non-developers can easily use it. And I think with OpenAI behind Peter, that's going to become a lot more easier to do. There are definitely concerns around who is going to be defining the direction. I think we'll have to see what happens there. Now, then he says, yes, I could have totally see how OpenClaw could become a huge company. And no, it's not really exciting for me. I am a builder at heart. I did the whole creating a company game already, poured 13 years of my life into it and learned a lot. Keep in mind, Peter is not just a random developer. He had a company, he already retired by selling that company, but then he came back to building personal software or personal agents in the form of OpenClaw. Then he says, what I want is to change the world, not to build a large company, and teaming up with OpenAI is the fastest way to bring this to everyone. I spent last week in San Francisco talking with the major labs, getting access to the people and unreleased research, and it's been inspiring on all the fronts. So he says, ultimately, I felt OpenAI was the best place to continue pushing on my vision and expand its reach. The more I talked with the people there, the clearer it became that we both shared the same vision. Now, community around OpenClaw is something magical, and OpenAI has made strong commitments to enable me to dedicate my time to it and already sponsor the project. To get this into the proper structure, I'm working on making it into a foundation. It will stay a place for thinkers, hackers, and people that want a way to own their data, with goal of supporting even more models and companies. Now, I think the good thing that is going to come out of it is going to be that hopefully they're going to resolve all the security issues and Claw is going to remain the law. But we are already potentially seeing some backlash or responses from other countries. Now, this is just one user, so I don't want to generalize it. Here's Alex, who is the host of Thursday AI podcast. He says new users are out of luck with OpenClaw and open source sakes, ? Just tried to set it up. Anthropic's Max plan does not seem to work anymore via setup token, and signing up to an API tier doesn't work, as API rate limits basically kill any possible usage. I finally convinced my fiance to try, and she is upset as heck, right? Now, one thing, they already blocked the OAuth that was used for Claude code, so if he has tried, that's not going to work. But the rate limit thing, I'm not sure. It might be based on the account that he was using. It doesn't probably have high enough rate limits on it, because OpenClaw eats through the tokens very quickly, and that's by design. Now, there are already people calling the project ClosedClaw. We'll have to see. I think it's probably premature to say that. And seems like he's going to be working on or with the Codex team. So we're going to see how this thing is going to evolve. But I think there's hope that the project is going to not only survive, but thrive. Let's see what happens and what the future holds. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this quick video. Thanks for watching. And as always, see you in the next one.